Welcome back to the Meridian Pursuit Builders Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Sampley, and this is where we sit down with home builders, developers, real estate professionals, and industry leaders who are out there doing the work. You'll hear real conversations about markets, design, mistakes and lessons learned, and how builders can position themselves in a way that brings more customers to the table. Let's dive in. The one thing that I would love to know is, what did you do before construction and then why the switch to construction?
Oh yeah, good question. Before I was in construction, I actually was in the Army. So I went to West Point for college, and then I got out and was an infantry officer. And then I was getting out. Actually, I got a bit of what's called a golden handshake because we had basically I was supposed to do 5 years in the Army, but they had way too many young lieutenants, and so they basically gave me the option to get out early and not owe anything for the 2.5 years I didn't do,
Hmm.
which usually you're supposed to pay it back. It should have been about 125K, but because they had so many people at the time, I got the option. So I'm getting out, and out processing in the Army takes a long time. It's probably like a 6 month deal. So where you're just not really doing anything. So you get a lot of time to think about what you're going to do and decide. And I have a degree in physics from West Point, and I'm really good at economics and math and stuff. And so I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll. A lot of my friends who had similar stuff were, you know, uh, basically would get jobs on Wall Street or in investment banks and make a lot of money there. And I was like, oh, I could see myself doing that. I was like, or I could come run my family's construction company. And I always had like a really strong affinity for my parents. I mean, they really set me up really well in life. Like they literally like would help me fill out my West Point applications, and we're always very like really they didn't just say like, hey, do good in school and stuff. They helped me too, you know. So I always felt like I owed them. So I was like, let me come back and grow, the family business and turn it into something that actually supports them rather than just kind of like a drag. Because they'd worked in it for 7 years and not made a penny out of it other than their own
Okay.
salary.
The same as it is now, the renovation side, the custom side.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said they had that for 7 years before
I
you.
think, let's see, 2011 through I took over in 2018. Yeah, 7 years. And then
Okay.
it's been another seven now that I didn't take over like completely right away. There's probably a year where it's kind of like I was just kind of there, but not really running the show. And then I took over in like 2019. We rebranded to Home Love Construction, like what it is now.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
and
tell
then
me
we,
what were some of those things you kind of prioritize as, you've made the switch, you're like, hey, I want to go and help the family business. What were some of those immediate things of like, did you come to the table with ideas of, hey, mom and dad, I would love to fix these things, or did they give
yeah,
you full reins to do whatever you want?
yeah, no, they didn't give me full reins immediately. I took them over time. And by the way, that's a big piece of advice for people who are in their family business. Dude, just take control. Like, if you see something that needs to be changed, just go for it, man. Just go for it. Like it's people are waiting for someone to give them permission to take control. It's like who gave you permission to start this podcast, Jesse?
Yeah, nobody.
Nobody. You just did it, right? Like nobody gave me permission to start my plumbing company. I just fucking did it, right? And like same with my electric company. Like it's like nobody's going to give you permission. So it's the same in a family business. But yeah, what I immediately brought to the table really was marketing. Um, Prior to me coming in, we didn't do any marketing. There was like literally zero. And I had watched a lot of Gary Vee videos at the time. So
Nice.
I was like, I'm going to just do a bunch of videos about whatever the F I think about. And so I did that kind of like vlog style videos. I did a lot of vlog style videos. I literally had a 16-year-old follow me around with a camera for 3 months out of the year,
I love
every
it.
when he was on summer break. Just paid him full time to do that. Um, and that was good. It was a good experience. It made me very comfortable on camera, obviously. Uh, but it didn't really produce results, to be honest with you. Like it was not, I wouldn't call it good marketing. because it didn't really get us leads. It got us some, but not really a lot.
And this was all being posted to YouTube?
YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah. TikTok didn't really exist back then. But our marketing really started going like really well, probably in about like 2021, when I started trying paid ads. And when I really like was focused on like, okay, how do I, because the other thing that wound up happening is we put in a standard pricing system. So, and this has been a stable piece of our company for the last half decade, basically, which has really allowed us to grow. Is we have a sheet of the prices for everything, from like a linear foot of concrete footer, a square foot of concrete slab, a sheet of drywall, a square foot of paint, inside, outside, ceiling, wall, whatever. And we just go out and update it quarterly. And having that has allowed, like, I don't have to tell people what things need to cost or what to charge. It's like, okay, how many feet of it are we doing? Good. Put that into the formula and it tells you.
Yeah.
You know? So that allowed me to actually hire salespeople. That was the other huge thing, is the marketing, and then having like sales, but having an actual sales team. Like right now we have a 7-person sales team, right? So that keeps the business going. And once I saw that I could have somebody else selling and out, like actually creating and getting new business and bringing it in, and I didn't have to do it, it was like, oh, the wheels are off. Like this is or the brakes are off. Like this is a real business.
Yeah. And you had those a lot easier SOPs because you had a standardization that you could go off of.
Right.
On a paid ad side, what were those channels that you're doing paid ads on at first, or what are you doing now?
Yeah, it started with Facebook, and then I'm trying to remember, like, when did we really crack Facebook? Maybe it was actually in 2022. Because we had always done a lot of organic. Actually, you know what? No, in 2020, what happened 2021 to 2022, what I'm remembering now, what occurred is we started getting a lot of traction on YouTube, because YouTube during COVID times went ballistic. Yeah. Everybody went on to YouTube. And we started getting a lot of inquiries of, hey, I saw your video. I realize you're in Tampa. I'm in Tampa. They're like, can you build my addition?
Oh, wow.
And I'd be like, yes, I can actually. That's great. You know, and those were easy sales, because they're like, I found you through your own informational content. You know, it's just like easy to close.
Yeah. And they've already built that trust. So it's not like, okay, yeah, let me talk to your salesperson. Let me get comfortable with you people. You know, that it makes that buying process so much simpler, because like, I already know you guys. I know what you focus on. I know your personality. I know what to expect. Were you real intentional with what kind of content you're putting out so that people came to the table more prepared?
A little bit. I wouldn't say, you know, I personally, I'm not super into, my intention with content is to make it. Like that's my intention with content, is make the freaking content. Because I find that if I get too into the weeds of like, oh, how do I want to say this exactly? I don't make the video. And a bad video is better than no video.
Perfect, you know? Is the enemy of done.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And so most people, like, you take like Alex Hormozy, for example, he talks a lot about prepping for his videos, which I totally respect. And he has the mental fortitude to do that. But most people who are going to prep for their videos will never make the video. Mm-hmm. They'll spend all their time prepping, you know? So, yeah, I'm definitely in the camp of like, just make the content and then make it better over time. Like, my content has gotten way better over time. It used to be trash. Now we've just refined it down to, hey, what exactly do they want? And now we do mostly short form. I actually need to get back into doing some long form. But
you're a freaking beast on the short form. I mean, you're everywhere. I'm
efficient.
I think you've posted 3 short form videos like in the past 17 hours.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Should be. We do 6 a day.
Nice. And then what's your scheduling look like? Because, you know, some of the builders that are looking to this is like, great. Sounds like Brad's got it all figured out. Like, I'm still in the weeds. Like, how did you set that intentionality, now to build where you are now? Were you doing time blocking? Were you doing, a couple days out of the month? What's your insight there?
No, dude, I just do what's important and I do it right now. Like if something's important, I just do it right the fuck now. Like I don't wait. I just do it right now.
Do you have a place already set up to where, okay, I'm going to do it right now?
Oh, for content?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So I thought it was a different question. Yeah. So on the content, dude, we have it so easy. I used to have to go and like record for hours because each video is 15 to 20 minutes long. Which I do need to get back into doing that a little bit, but it's so easy with short form content. We will literally sit down and I'll have my video guy. Like if I'm doing reaction videos, my video guy will have 50 videos preloaded in a list where I'm just clicking the link for the next video. I click the link, I watch it, I react, done. Next one, react, done. Next one, react, done. We will literally do 50 videos in probably like 70 minutes. 70.
Wow.
Yeah.
And again, kind of going back to your point of not over preparing, these are what you would do naturally. You're sitting on your phone, you're in the scroll, and it's like you're thinking these things already of like, oh wow, that's cool, or that's not cool at all. Like that's total bogus. Like that's not even real.
Yeah.
You're just saying it out loud. And I love the way that you even do it, which is almost like you're not really talking to anyone either. You're kind of just talking to yourself of like, oh, nice. Wow. How have I never seen that before? Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. May use that one next, I just learned something new.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude, it's I got that idea from somebody who actually gave up on it. So I got that idea from Tigran Gertz. You know who Tigran is?
No.
No? Oh, dude. Tigran, right? So write down Tigran, Tigran, Gertz, I think. You should try to get him on. I don't know him personally, but he's got a big following. Hold on, let me look. Tigran. He's got like 560,000 followers on Instagram. He runs a landscaping company in California.
Okay.
He's a really funny guy. He does a lot of content and it does really, really well. And for a while, he started doing landscaper react videos. And I saw that and I was like, oh man, I got to try that. Because I saw he was in the studio. Because the biggest problem with making content as a contractor is your job sites are all over the place. Mm-hmm. So if you always have to go to the job to make content, and by the way, most office content sucks. It doesn't do well at all. People hate it. It's just boring. I don't know. Like we have a video studio that cost me like 40 grand to set up. Most of the stuff we make in it does terrible, just to be honest. It doesn't hold a candle to the job site videos. People love the job sites, man, But I saw this thing of Tigran doing this where he was reacting to a ridiculous video. And we did it a little, I was like, okay, I would do this than this differently. And so we tried it and he gave up on it. He stopped doing it months ago. Ours have just gone like a freaking rocket. Like we'll have one do 1 million views pretty much every week. We'll have at least one do 1 million plus views.
Wow.
Yeah.
Another thing that I've noticed with that is it also power of association, depending on what you're reacting to, is that I assume that this person knows about this, even though it's just a reaction video, but there is an association to what you put out there is, oh, if they're sharing this and they're putting this type of content out there, that person must do things like that. So if you're reacting to, multi-million-dollar home renovations, be like, I assume this guy does multi-million-dollar renovations because this is what he's putting out there. It's just kind of a natural progression of thought.
Yeah. It's a great point, especially if you have something to say about it. Like there's one where there's like this crazy heated driveway or something like that, right? And in the video, and they did this really cool colored, like pink colored concrete, which is pretty crazy. I mean, it's pretty awesome. But I commented on it and I was like, I gave my 2 cents on like why you don't see more of it. And blah, blah, blah. And I actually had a customer bring it up to me later on of like, hey, can we go see that project? I had to explain to them that it wasn't a project that we did. So you're right. Yeah. The association is powerful.
Yeah. I come from a commercial high-end videography background where we did a lot of we started 14 years ago. So a lot of the way that we operate on our marketing side is very kind of brand focused. How do you position yourself? Kind of be a little bit more intentional on that. And all of it was the same playbook. We, being in Kentucky, a lot of these companies that we work with were bourbon companies, and it was every single time it was same playbook of power of association, of if I'm going to drink a certain bourbon, then what type of person do we want to portray ourselves with? So who is going to hold the bottle, and what kind of watch are they wearing? What kind of suit are they wearing? Or is this on a tailgate? And what kind of truck are they sitting on? All of those things of just power of association was so huge, because that's what people identify with, of like, oh, obviously I'm wanting to build that type of home. That must be my guy, because that's the type of home I'm looking for towards, maybe early on, someone that's just getting started. If it's just a renovation project, it may not be that impressive, 8-foot ceilings, some stuff that they're doing on a cabinetry side, but what a great opportunity to just, hey, they're still going to consume it. So whether it's your project or not, what an easy win to say, hey, just give your 2 cents,
Yeah. And it's like, people forget that DJ Khaled doesn't make his own music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like he'll say
love that
some
mindset.
BS,
Yeah.
He'll say some BS line in a song, and then he'll put himself as an artist. He'll say like another one, and then he'll be like, yeah, I'm the artist. But it's like he just takes other people's stuff and combines it in a tasteful way that people like the end product.
Yeah.
But he's not the guy singing or rapping or whatever, So it's the same thing. People forget that the DJing of content. Gary Vee has talked about this for over a decade, by the way. So I'll give him credit. When it started working, I was like, why is this working? I was like, oh, it's the DJing of content. You're like, I'm the DJ.
Man, I love that. That is really good insight for people that very low barrier, very low time. Like you said,
barrier. Yeah, dude.
Load it up, even if it's just a screen record, set up your phone on a tripod and then stitch it in a CapCut. I mean, you've got zero overhead. But that's another thing too, is exercise that muscle, because then it'll get easier and easier and easier. I think people put content, and I saw this when we had the video production company, which was, we've kind of moved away from it now just because people aren't engaging with the high end stuff. But people put these blockers of, I've got to have this video guy, and then that's got to, I'm looking at, high investment and what's my return and all that. Dude, just start with your phone. Start with what you have now, and just talk about. It doesn't have to be anything ridiculous, but just if you are on a job site, do a home tour. Get a little mic, or don't get a mic, but just start. And then you start, even with with this podcast that we've started. It's just start, and then you start refining over time, and it'll get better, and you'll see opportunities when you can do things better. But just start. Don't overthink it at all. And
I've done a couple events, like coaching contractors on marketing specifically. And the thing I always have them, like, at one point we do a little like workshop type thing, and I have them practice like making a video about something in the room. So I'm like, hey, make a video about that window. I'm like, we'll delete it. We won't ever post it, but just try, do it. And they always go super like big picture, like look at this whole thing. Whereas me, I'm always pushing them like, okay, go more specific. Talk about the type of screw that you have to use to install that window. It's like down to the tiny, tiny little details. Because when you get down to the tiny details, you never run out of stuff to talk about. And you'd be surprised at how interesting people find those tiny details. Yeah,
especially if it's, your client, your audience isn't other builders, but someone that's not in this every day. And they probably, maybe some of these people are only in this position as far as getting their home renovated or getting a new home, just a handful of times in their lifetime.
Most of them one time.
Yeah. So just one time. So if you're talking, the video I watched earlier, right before this call, was the folded tape, of like, okay, this will crease, and, this is why this over. Okay. That no one's thinking about that
No.
on your client side. No one's thinking about that. And it's just, okay, that's interesting. Is this a nugget, a real golden nugget that I'm going to carry on with my life? Probably not.
No.
But again,
Yeah.
it's just something like that's interesting. And then the more little intrigue points like that, then the algorithm starts showing you to more and more. And that's what the power of that short form is. This is pretty much just pure entertainment now. This is kind of cool. Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's definitely intended to be like infotainment for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like information that's made to be entertaining. The other thing that I realized along the way that I think would be really insightful for people is like, if you're wondering what's interesting to people, the answer is what you can become interested in. And what I mean by that is like, you inject the interest into the video. You follow? Like the person making the video injects the interest into it.
Like you're saying, here's a window. Okay. What about the window? Why am I supposed to care about this?
Yeah.
Oh, well, look at these, the certain type of screw that is a non-rusting screw that is, okay. Now I'm thinking about something that I would never think about before.
Yeah, that's right.
Or a potential issue of, most of these windows are getting replaced because of these reasons. Oh, wow. Do I have those kind of windows?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And if you can get something that like is real to people, like, why are your outlets slightly black around the edges? Well, because your outlet keeps shorting, which means that there's too many things on that breaker. You know, like you need to get you need to get rewired.
Then you're walking around your entire home like, okay, I'm looking at every single outlet that I have now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the process that,
Sure.
did you dial that in? You dialed in the marketing side. On a process side, you touched on it a little bit, but what were some immediate things that you wanted to refine just to make this customer journey the best possible?
Yeah. So the biggest thing that we changed is we used to have pretty much everything done by in-house labor. Like we self-performed almost everything. And in the first year and a half, we actually basically exited all of our in-house hammer swingers. And we went to completely a subcontractor base. And that immediately moved our quality of work up because we're now using specialists for their specialist roles rather than generalists, like jack of all trade type thing. So like our drywall quality went way up. Our painting quality went way up. So like using a drywall guy and a specific painter. I also found that also our margins got better. Like what we actually made got better using subs because I now had a controlled cost. The clock was no longer running away my profit on the job.
Which you'd almost think it would be the opposite of, maybe I'm going to have less margins because I'm spending more on the trades than if we just did it ourselves. But you don't really, normally you don't have like you said, the clock can easily run away when they're on your own team because you're not looking as closely as that as it is of, I'm contracting this person to do this job.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And, excuse me. And the other piece of it is like our jobs started finishing faster as well. Like we wouldn't have things that, because if you look at it, like now I will say now I have a plumbing business where our plumbers, we do pay them hourly, and we have an electrical business where we pay our electricians hourly. That works. Like our plumbing company makes money and our electrical company, it's a brand new company. It's probably like 3 months old. It doesn't really make money, but it's like we're getting close. But like with plumbing, because it's a single trade, we know how long everything should take, right? And we have scheduling rules of thumb for like how much we're charging versus how long we allot for the stuff. So that's pretty closely dialed in. But I found that when you had in construction, there's so many different trades on a remodel or a home build. There, like if you look at it, there's probably on any given project like 20 to 40 trades, depending on how complicated the build is.
Yeah.
And that like for one crew to do all of that and know how to do all of it competently, it's kind of an unreal ask.
Yeah.
Like you're asking them to be freaking Hercules.
And taking aside if there's an issue that's a little bit more of a complicated issue to solve.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then maybe then too, you're again bringing on another subcontractor to try to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Where's kind of your sweet spot right now as far as on a building side? What are you guys building? Is it more, custom? Is it more renovation? What's that ratio look like right now?
By number of projects, we do a lot more renovations than custom home builds, just by number. Like I think we built like 3 or 4 homes last year, and we probably renovated 70 or 80 homes.
Are these renovations with additions, or is this just a change in layout and design, and it's just more of a matter of time?
Good question. It's probably, I'd say at least 40% of those were included additions.
Okay.
So we probably did 20 or 30 additions last year, of varying sizes. Like I can think of one guy's house where we added a roof and a half bath for his pool. And then there's another one where we added 4,000 square feet to a house, gutted an existing 4,000 square feet and then added another 4,000,
And this is in the Tampa, St. Pete, kind of that. Okay. So no one's wanting to give up the real estate. So it's, I've already invested in being here. Like I'm sitting on a gold mine. So like, I don't want to leave. I just want something a little different. So it makes sense that it's not like, okay, I've got my perfect vision for what I want. Now I just need a place, because there's not a lot of places in Florida. If you already love where you live, it's like, I mean, there's, you can't really find that, you're going to have to go to more of a rural area if you're wanting to add, have a 8,000 square foot home or something like that. So just change where you are now, dial that in, just because the ground they're sitting on is so valuable.
Yeah. And the thing that makes it more and more valuable over time is that like Tampa Bay, like specifically we're in Pinellas County. So we go over to Tampa as well, but Pinellas County has a very interesting, you could call it a problem or opportunity, whichever. It's different depending on where you sit. For us, it's a huge opportunity. There's water on both sides of Pinellas County. It's literally a peninsula, and it gets really thin at the top, and it's all already fully built up. Like there's houses everywhere. There's basically no land left. So now you're in a situation where, and most of the housing stock, by the way, is more than 30 years old. So the renovation market here just keeps climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing. Like it's just like a never ending increase. And now, a renovation market at some point turns into a tear down rebuild market, which is what we're now starting to see happen.
Oh, really?
The hurricane last year accelerated a lot of that, or 2 years ago now, where like we got a couple tear down rebuilds from the hurricane. And where it just doesn't make sense to do a build back, like to build back the house the way it was, because this person has the money. They want to build a nicer house and they'd rather build it up elevated where it's never going to flood again. Yeah. So a ton of those got pulled forward in time due to the storms. And it's an interesting market, man. It's a good place to do business, honestly.
Yeah. My wife's aunt has a restaurant in Pinellas Park.
Oh, nice.
Stone Soup, kind of a pub and sandwich shop, but we go there quite often. It's a nice part. It's not as busy, as when you go over to the Tampa side. But like you said, you drive around and you really do see how aged the inventory is. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
and there's no land either, so it's very
It's constrained. And the other thing is there's positive population growth as well. More people are moving in than are going out.
Why would you ever leave?
Yeah. It's true. It's true. A lot of people come in and stay. Not a lot of people go. But the other thing about it is, dude, when DeSantis gets this property tax thing done, it's going to go to another level. It's going to go It's going to go so crazy. People don't even understand how crazy it's going to go.
How realistic do you think that is?
It's happening.
Really?
100% it's happening. Yeah.
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 That's going to be.
I mean, it's like, if you look at it, it's one of the most popular proposals in the history of government. Like, you realize there's nowhere on earth that doesn't have property tax, other than like the Cayman Islands, I think, are the only one. You know?
The logic follows so well. It's just insane, the property tax that gets paid in Florida. And I think you have to factor that into, for us, we do some investing in short-term rentals. And it's like, that's such a ding out of your cap rate.
Yeah.
What you're spending in insurance and property tax,
Yeah.
especially when it's like, well, these are the markets that people want to, vacation in. But then you're looking at, this got flooded within 100 years ago. So now my flood insurance is just astronomical because a tiny little portion of my property, flooded within the past 100 years. Little things like that. It overwhelmingly popular to either eliminate, reduce, whatever it ends up landing.
Yeah.
But that'll be super exciting to see, on an investing side, on a just a residential side. That'll be an interesting thing to follow.
Yeah, it'll be good. In terms of your original question was about process. So I talked about moving to subcontractors. The other thing that has taken some time to get actually implemented, but we've been doing it for like the last 3 or 4 years now, is we do something that's a bit odd in the space, but works really, really well for us. It's that we name our price to our subcontractors. So we don't put something out to bid. Like we already know what we should be paying by trade. Like we've just done the research. We know what we should be paying per square foot of concrete to form and finish. We know what we should be paying for hanging and finishing a sheeted drywall level 3, 4, 5, right? Different textures. And so we quote to our customers based on those prices, and then we put it out to the subcontractor saying, hey, here's what we got. You want it or not? Tell us.
Are you using a lot of the same trades?
Yeah. Yeah, we do find that we do get a lot of repeat business to our subcontractors. Like, we probably only have 1 or 2 drywall subcontractors that we really use a lot, maybe 3. Tile, it's probably 2.
And they already have that expectation of, well, hey, whatever the project is, I know you guys are going to take care of me. You're not just looking at the very bottom dollar, trying to see what you can get the most out of. So you're building that rapport over the years of, hey, whatever you got, give it to me. I'll check availability, but if I'm able to do it, of course, we'll do it for you guys. Are there things that you're doing to strengthen those relationships with your subs?
Yeah, it's funny. I actually intend to do more. We don't do enough, to be honest with you. Probably the biggest thing that we do is we pay often. Like, we run our sub payments every week, and typically if they're done the prior week, they're getting paid the next week. So there's probably about a 7-day lag, assuming that everything is cool on the project. Like, if a client isn't willing to pay, I'm like, hey, okay, like, stop all the sub payments on this project. We need to figure out what's going on, because I don't know who caused the upset, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, hold all the payments, and that's, they understand that. That's in the sub agreement. It's made known, and so paying regularly and fast really helps. And then just communicating with them in a non-bullshit way. Like, if there is a payment problem with a client, and, like, let's say we've given a subcontractor $300,000 worth of demo work, and there's like a $5,000 payment that's held up. We're like, hey, listen, man, don't freak out. Remember, we've already paid you $300,000 over the last 18 months. Like, you really think we're going to just blow this up over $5,000? Yeah. Like, we got a lot more business to do. It's not like we're just done. So when we tell them that, when we put it in perspective, we're like, hey, dude, have we ever not paid you? No. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, What are the odds we're going to start now? Realistic. I know you're scared. Like I know
Yeah.
everybody's like, people just freak out. But when you actually talk them through the logic of like, hey, we paid you $300,000 in prior work for the past 18 months. We've had a great relationship. Like, what are the odds we're really going to blow it up now? And what are the odds that we're going to do that knowing we're going to need you literally in 2 weeks on another project?
Yeah. And like you said, communication, just be open, honest,
Yeah.
in a non BS way. And then also, I'm sure that translates to how you talk with your clients too,
Yeah.
is frequent communication. If there's a problem, we're going to work through it. Nothing's unsolvable. What's the frequency look like on a communication side? I'm assuming renovations are naturally, you're in their space, unless they're leaving for a couple months. But is there anything intentional that you do to make sure that, you're communicating well, or you're doing little things along the way just to kind of strengthen that customer relationship?
Yeah. So on the customer side, there's a mandated weekly update email from the project manager. Like they have to send them at the end of every Friday from like 2 to 4 p.m. Our office is full of all the PMs come in and they do their weekly summary email basically of, hey, what happened this week? And then what's coming up, and what does the updated schedule look like? And they do all their schedule changes then, like they change they drag the events on their Gantt chart, which then levels out the rest of the project. We have we use a software called Builder Trend, which has been fantastic for us.
A lot of guys using that today.
Yeah, it's really good. We do it for all of our purchasing for subs, like we do purchase orders. Whenever, like for every trade, for every project, we issue a purchase order with the scope and whatever. That's all inside of Builder Trend, and then the schedule is there as well. So. And we have it set up in the beginning so that all the schedule's linked, right? Like we have the critical path all linked up. So the PM just drags, if something got delayed, he just drags it by however many days it got delayed, and then boom, it pushes everything else. So they can then tell the customer, hey, we got delayed by 3 days on our cabinets or whatever. Here's how it affects the rest of the project and your completion date.
Nice. Any other softwares you're using that you're finding are real helpful?
Yep. Excel, Microsoft Excel. No, just kidding. But in reality, actually, we do a lot in Google Sheets. Like, dude, you can do amazing things with a spreadsheet. Like, there's not a lot that you can need to do that you can't do with a spreadsheet. In my
well, Gemini's kind of changed it too, as far as the chat, chatting with your own spreadsheets or documents. We're using it a lot more of just, here's an entire PDF that's been uploaded, or here's a document where we're tracking stuff. Now I'm going to go in. I'm just going to chat with Gemini within the doc and ask it different questions about the sheet. That's been a huge thing, mostly on like a really long PDF. Here's an extremely long document that we're just trying to get through. We're trying to find some answers. We're not trying to just Command F and find, different parts of it. We're trying to ask logical questions, and then Gemini is able to actually give you an intelligent answer based on that document or based on that sheet, which is super cool.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. AI is, we're pretty tuned into AI and how it's, changing. We're trying to keep up, as best as possible, but it just seems to be this spider web that is, it's intentional, of course, but it's in everything. But then the question is, out of everything that's out there, how are we dialing this in best for builders and construction companies so that you're not subscribing to every new thing that comes out?
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing for a contractor that it can help you with, in my experience, is the legal side. Like, it's the best lawyer ever. Like you can literally give it a contract. Like you can give it your contract and say, okay, hey, you're a really, really good $2,000 an hour New York attorney. Tell me how you would fuck me over with this contract. And you can write fuck me over and it will give you an answer. Sorry if I have to bleep that, but you can give it that prompt and then it will tell you. And then you can say, okay, good. Now give me edits that will prevent you from doing that.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I don't know if a lot of people are using it. They definitely should use it like this, which is give me the perspective of the person that I am, trying to work with. So,
Yeah.
I'm a customer that I'm in a challenging position. I've been told by this construction company, work it backwards
Yeah.
so that you're almost reading what's in their mind. It's just it has all access to everything, so every
Mhm.
personality type, it knows that. So why not lean into that, whichever AI platform you use, if it's ChatGPT or Grok or whichever, find whichever one you want to use. But again, I mean, on a basic side, they're all going to be the same as far as being able to tackle that logic with,
Yeah.
here's the perspective that you've told me to give you, and now we're able to kind of have this two-way conversation of, well, what if I said this, or what if you were thinking this. It's just insane. When it first
Mhm.
showed up on the market, several years ago, I was like, this is the most important day. I told my wife, I was like,
Mm.
this is the most important day of our life, is the when we first pulled up that ChatGPT bar and we're
And you
asking it
wrote, tell me
questions.
a story.
Yes, and it was just like, back then, I mean, now it seems real slow, but it was taking 15 seconds to like write out its response, and it was just like mind completely blown.
Yeah.
But we're actually getting our countertops redone right now, and the guy that came out, he came and did the measurements. He gave us our list of different materials that we could look at, and then instantly took a picture. ChatGPT has done a partnership with Adobe, so
Yeah.
their photography side and generation has gotten a lot more refined. So he snapped a photo, said they're looking at this type of quartz, and then it mapped it out within seconds. He's like, how does this look? Like, boom, it looks amazing. Let's
Yeah.
The visualization side, I think, is huge. And as someone that's maybe doesn't have a huge team, use all of those tools available. That's
Hmm.
and the more that a customer can visualize it's easier to maybe communicate some things that are more challenging or more abstract on a
Yeah.
project.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. Yeah. We definitely need to use it more.
Yeah. Well, do you have a policy for how you handle some bad news with either you to a sub or you to a customer?
Yeah. I mean, my policy is just rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
Just why, why enter time into it? Like, I get this with my staff sometimes where they want to talk internally about the bad news for hours and hours and hours and never tell the client. And I'm like, dude, it's like somehow they like feel like they've done something if they've talked about it internally a lot, but they haven't actually done the thing. Because the thing is, tell the person who it affects,
Yeah.
let them know, you know, and mostly it's stupid stuff like, hey, the the county decided that we need a vertical wall dry-in inspection, even though there's no vertical wall dry-in, right? Like there is none, but they said we need an inspection for it. So now we have to actually submit a product approval code for something. Like we have to do this permit bullshit, and it's going to
Yeah.
slow us down because we're supposed to be, closing up. And it's like, okay, just tell them, and the other thing that I find is like often people are are hesitant to assign responsibility where it belongs. Like they instead of saying like let's say a cabinet order is delayed, and instead of saying, hey, the cabinet order is delayed because the cabinet company did something wrong or screwed up their logistics, we don't know exactly what they did, but they did tell us this delivery date, and now they're telling us this delivery date. They'll be like, hey, the cabinet order is delayed. I don't know why it was delayed, but we'll get on it as soon as possible. It's like, no, tell them that it was the cabinet company that delayed it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we've ordered these things months ago, and now they're telling us they're going to be delayed. There's a lot of times I find that when in delivering bad news, people get themselves into trouble by not just giving the person all the information.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll hold back information that if you just told the person the full story, it would actually make you look better.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would you hold back information that's going to make you look good? It's so dumb. People are so like self-effacing, I think is the word, like make yourself look bad.
Yeah.
That's a little crazy to me. And then the other thing is like, if you're just giving somebody bad news, dude, just tell them, just like, hey, bad news. We got to do blah, blah, blah. And then the person's probably going to be like, oh, okay, well, fine, do it.
Yeah. Is there anything I can do about it? Nope. Okay. I may be pissed for a little bit, but if there's nothing I can do, there's nothing I can do. I have found too that, and we use this ourselves, is if it's the relationship is built off of, here's